Zoo Weather Authority forecast with Ryan Martin.
All right, Ryan, the big story, wind and cold air still.
Yes, fortunately the wind has died down significantly, but we still got a decent breeze going on, but it is going to get a little cold out there tonight. So bring the dogs inside, bring the plants inside. It's going to get a little cold out there.
Okay.
Let's talk about the health index right now. This is also an issue a little bit for us. Mold is high and weeds, or trees I should say, are moderate, but fortunately we are low for grasses and weeds, and this is all courtesy of Texan Allergy, and you can visit their website at texanallergy.com. Now we're going to go right into the watches and the warnings. So we got some weather alerts, freeze warnings out to most of the western basin. See Culberson, Ward, Winkler County, all these areas, Reeves County as well, Loving County. Those are going to be in effect until about 8 a.m. tomorrow, so not until tomorrow morning. So you definitely want to be on the lookout for that. As we said before, bring the plants inside, bring the pets inside. Do not want to be dealing with these cold temperatures out there tonight. Our almanac, though, we are actually just slightly above average for today, 63 degrees compared to 62. But overnight, not too bad, 45, but that's going to be a little bit different tonight. Definitely going to get closer to that average of seeing those mid to low 30s out there. And right now we are seeing temperatures relatively decent, not too cold out there, but we are seeing those high 40s. Winds, as we said before, they're still around, but they're not nearly as strong as they had been. 7-mile-an-hour wind speeds today, and also very dry out there, 30% humidity. We're going to talk about all this in just a second, but we're going to go right into temperatures right now. We're still seeing a lot of those 50s, though. 53 in Big Spring, most of that out to the east, but we are seeing 50 in Pecos, but we're already starting to see the 30s down in Marfa, Hobbs as well, Seminole, Carlsbad, so most of southeastern New Mexico and the northern basin. You're already starting to see those very cold conditions, likely going to be possibly seeing that freeze chance later on, but we are seeing those 40s down in Alpine and still seeing the 50s down in Presidio. So some lucky people out there, others not so much. Wind speeds, though, as we said before, a little bit of activity going on, but we're seeing a little bit more over in Wink as well as up in Hobbs, and still very windy out in the Guadalupe Mountains, but not as windy as it has been. 21-mile-an-hour wind speeds right now and 37-mile-an-hour wind gust, and they did peak pretty strong today. 58 earlier. That's actually about 4 degrees lower than their peak yesterday, where they got all the way up to the 60s. 36 up in Carlsbad, 32 in Pecos, 30 in Marfa for the peak gust today. And right here in Odessa in the Tall City, 31-mile-an-hour wind gust. Didn't exactly get to those 30s, though, out in Big Spring. And as we said before, winds aren't too strong, but they are still out there, and it's still very dry out there. So we want to keep in mind that you don't want to be lighting any fires out there, though. Chances are a little bit lower in the nighttime hours, but it's still very dry and still got a decent amount of wind out there, so you want to be on the lookout for that. So we got possibility of fires and possibility of freezing tonight, so you definitely is the night to be careful out there. We aren't really seeing too much, though, in terms of the satellite radar. We are seeing a little bit of wind or rain on and on throughout the basin. Some stronger storms out to the east outside of the Lone Star State, but right here in Odessa, Midland, we do have a little bit of snow activity, some snow flurries out just outside the viewing area heading towards the El Paso area, but we are seeing some on and off rain out to the western portion of the basin and in the northern portion of the Trans-Pecos. That's all thanks to this cold front that made its way through. It's moving out of the viewing area, but the cold temperatures, they came with it, and it's going to stick around for the next couple of days. Now, our temperatures for tonight, be on the lookout for some possible freezing conditions, as we've said over and over again. Northern Basin going to get a little bit cold out there, and it's going to cool down during the daytime too, but still seeing those 50s out there. So not really too bad during the daytime, but as soon as that sun goes down overnight, it gets cold out there. Central Basin, expect temperatures dropping down into the 30s. As we said before, most of the western portion of the Central Basin, so Kermit, Monahans, Barstow, those areas in effect for a possible freeze warning tonight. Not exactly going to get there in Odessa and the Tall City, so some good news there, but still very cold outside. You don't want to be leaving your pets outside. Bring them inside. Then tomorrow, back up into the 50s, so still good walking weather out there. 60s in Grand Falls tomorrow, high 50s just about everywhere else, but that's not bad at all. And then the Trans-Pecos is going to be very cold tonight as well. Going to stay in the 40s, though, in Bakersfield. Dryden in the high 30s. Then tomorrow, back up into the 60s in Dryden, Sheffield, Irayan, and Bakersfield, but still going to see those high 50s down in Sanderson. And going into the mountains, one of the colder areas throughout the basin tonight could drop into the 40s down in Presidio. Then back up into the 60s tomorrow. 62 in Presidio, 60 in the Big Bend, Marathon, and Alpine in the high 50s, and Marfa in the mid 50s tomorrow. And our 7-day forecast, slightly cooler temperatures tomorrow, so we've had that slightly cooling going on for several days now, but then we're going to go back up into the 60s on Thursday. Clear skies for Wednesday and Thursday, but we have rain chances Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Fortunately, when we get close to the weekend, the overnight lows not as bad, but during the nighttime hours, the next couple of days, that's what you got to look out for.
I noticed on your almanac, 2001, it was 11 degrees was the record.
Yeah.
So this is nothing compared to that.
Yeah,
we do not want 11.
Just let 11 degrees sink in for a second,
right.
then you can be thankful that we're only seeing 30 degrees
That's
right
right.
now.
I feel like, what is it, December 21st is the first day of winter. I mean, I really think it's going to take us till December 21st to actually see
Real
consistent
winter.
cold temper. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to see these on and off, like average, like not too bad conditions during the daytime, but just from now on till the start of spring, we're going to be seeing some pretty cold conditions during the nighttime hours.
All right. Thanks, Ryan. Delay of game.